late. So I think
No problem.
I'll just write directly dive into it. Yeah. So I mean, good morning, everybody. Again
Good
on this.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good.
Of course, the topic pertaining today is very important. It is vaccinations for senior citizens, especially in this era where in COVID, where we are actually looking at uh, things and ways to actually sort of see how we can boost immunity. So yeah, vaccinations do play an important role. And I think what I want to tell you is there are some vaccines and I would want to tell you about them. And then it's important that you are sort of knowing about it. So you have a lot of risk factors and vaccinations can help you to protect you from certain illnesses, especially like pneumonia. And if you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, if you have multimorbidity, if you have chest diseases, then also vaccinations like asthma, then chronic obstructive disease, then so they can obviously be very, very helpful. Now, which are the vaccinations? Which are the vaccinations which are actually helpful? So one is, of course, the flu shot, which is known as the influenza vaccine. Now, this is usually given yearly, especially in India also, especially just before the flu season. Now, unfortunately, what happens is that the influenza virus is also very smart. So it tends to change its pattern every year. That's why a new flu shot is needed every year. So who should take it? Who should take it? One is anyone who is 65 years and older needs the flu shot. That is what the guidelines say. Then people who have multiple morbidity, who need help for quality of life or not independent. People with serious health conditions like heart disease, like diabetes, asthma, lung disease, people with immunocompromised conditions, they also need the vaccine. Then caregivers of older adults who need to get vaccinated purely because to avoid spreading the flu, not always. So older adults with comorbidity conditions and older adults above 65 need to take it anyways. Now, who should not take it? Now, people who have had allergic reactions to flu shots in the past, so they have to be careful. They should not be taking it. Now, when you should take it, as I told you, is you should get a flu shot every year because just before the flu time, because that becomes very, very important. Then the second shot, which is I think one of the most important ones, is the pneumococcal shot, because that is something which is against the pneumococcal bacteria, which can cause a lot of issues like pneumonia. It can cause some blood infections. It can cause brain infections. So again, who should take it? Anyone above 65 years and older should take it. Now, when to get it is actually quite relative, because you have to if you have diseases like lung diseases, heart diseases, diabetes, then it's always better that you take it. Now, when to take it, there are two types of vaccines in this. One is, of course, the pneumococcal conjugate, and one is the pneumococcal polysaccharide. I do not want to confuse you into the types, but once you take it, it is actually giving you an immunity of around 5 years, and then you need to repeat the vaccine. Now, what does it say? It doesn't say that if you get the shot, then you'll definitely not get pneumonia. No, that is like going against nature. No. So if you have risk factors, you can still get pneumonia, but you are better protected. Your more immunity is better. So research shows us that if you take the shot, then the intensity of pneumonia is comparatively much, much lesser as compared to, you can say, a normal individual who would get pneumonia, or normal older individual who will get pneumonia. So it's always better to take the pneumococcal vaccine. Now, another thing that the pneumococcal vaccine can be a question which people ask is the cost. Sometimes the cost can be an issue, but then yeah, we are having two types of vaccines and the frequency, of course, is there. For example, the PCV, the PPSV 23, is something which you can take once and then it's for life, or you have to take both of them as well. Now, it's very important that apart from the vaccine, you take care of your disease also. So I would say this is additive. So, but you need to still take care of your disease. For example, your lung disease is there. If you have asthma, you need to take your inhalers on time. If you're on drugs, you need to take those drugs on time. Then there are also other shots, like of course there is the tetanus shot. Now, tetanus shot is, if you say there is a vaccination schedule in India for older adults, no, there isn't one. There is research happening in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, and hopefully we're going to get a good result out of it, and we can have a vaccination schedule. So it's very important. But abroad, that is CDC usually recommends that one-time dose if you are above 65 years, and then of course you can have once every 10 years. Tetanus shot is anyways given if you have any injury. That is of course something which is completely different. But usually once you take it, it is valid for around 10 years. Now, another one which is important, which is slowly and steadily coming, but not completely come into India, is of course the zoster vaccine. Why? Because shingles or zoster is very, very, very painful as far as older adults are concerned, because it causes something known as post-herpetic neuralgia. So the infection actually happens in the area of the nerves, and then it can be really, really painful. So abroad, it shows, in the US, it shows that it reduces the risk by almost 85% of that chronic pain, because that chronic pain is just so painful as far as the zoster vaccine is concerned. So CDC of course recommends it above 50 years and older. If you have had any allergic reaction to that vaccine, no, it's a strict no, it should not be taken. And usually, as far as the CDC says, yes, 2 doses with the second dose given in 2 to 6 months after the first dose. And if more than 6 months are gone after the first dose, then it's okay to take the second dose at the available time. And there is no need to restart it. But yeah, it is not very actively being given as far as India is concerned. Then there are specific vaccines which will be given to you by your specialist, especially if you are having kidney diseases. Then the hepatitis vaccine is usually given, because it's very important for a nephrologist to make sure that if you're on dialysis also, that you are do not get any hepatitis B. So that protection is always given. Then if you are on immunosuppression as well, it is very carefully seen whether you need to be sort of given vaccines or not. So I think the most important thing as far as vaccination in older adults is purely concerned is that you need to know that they are an additive thing which will help you in battling your already current diseases, especially flu. Side effects are some things which have to be taken into consideration. Pneumonia is life threatening. So if you take a vaccine and that helps in you reducing the risk of pneumonia, then I think that is much better than actually getting the pneumonia, and with that admission costs, ICU. So that those things are something which you have to take into consideration. Then as I said, as far as for herpes is concerned, pain. I think pain is one of the most irritating factors which are there for older people, and they are something which really sort of irritate them. So that is something which we need to sort of take care. That's why as doctors, pneumonia, pain, flu shots, these are the ones which we take into consideration. But let me be very frank, if you have had any side effects to any vaccinations in the past, please highlight the same. You will be asked that question, but you need to highlight the same, purely because it's not something that if you have already have a side effect, then giving that vaccine or giving that injection to you would only cause more risk than harm. So it is very important that we know that when to take a vaccine, what to take a vaccine, and always, I mean, things might change if you have to travel. For example, you might have to take a hepatitis A vaccine, B vaccine. You might have to take for traveling, maybe the Japanese encephalitis vaccine. So it all depends on where you're actually sort of traveling. Now, the biggest things that might be in your mind as far as older adults, we call it barriers to immunization, is fear of immunization itself. It's an injection. How much pain it will cause. That is one. Two is having misconceptions and miseducation. So you need to know about the vaccine. You need to know. Lack of access, very common. A lot of times lack of access and cost can be causing an issue for older adults to even think of getting themselves vaccinated. And I think as a multidisciplinary team which we actually go, it's very important that we have a pharmacist, which we always do, who explains to you the importance of the same. There is a term known as immunosenescence. Before I end, immunosenescence is actually, as we grow older, our immune response weakens. That is what makes us more susceptible to things like flu, pneumonia, shingles. That's why we need to have ourselves protected as far as vaccination is concerned. And I think overall it's improving. We also have, through the government drive as well, like since the Modi government has come in, when I was in AIIMS also, we tried to do something known as less than 75 and more than 75. So vaccinations should be mandatory above 75 as far as India is concerned. Less than 75, or when you are between 60 to 75, if you have diseases like diabetes, hypertension, lung disease, liver disease, kidney disease, you need to get yourself vaccinated. And always, before you're getting yourself vaccinated, which should always, please consult your doctor to know the pros and cons. Do not just buy a vaccine because it's available. It won't be available without a prescription. I'm just saying, try to delve into it only after having adequate information, because ultimately it's still an injection which you need to take. So thanks a lot for your patient hearing. And I would want to apologize for coming in late today. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your patient hearing.
Thank you, Doctor. In case anybody has any questions for the doctor, please do ask. Unmute yourself, ask, and then again mute yourself. Yes, Mukulji, I can see your hand up. Mukul, I can
hear you.
Mukul, we can't hear you, Mukul.
Hello.
Yes, Mukul.
Hello.
Yes, Mukul.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Doctor, I had pneumonia, but I was hospitalized for about 5 years back. Do you recommend that I should take a vaccination for pneumonia?
How old are you, sir?
75 and above.
And what about your conditions?
But I'm fine with a little bit of hypertension.
No, so if you're above 75, I think you can take the vaccination. It is protective. It is no doubt that it will be protective to you by the intensity of the pneumonia. The fact that you've already had pneumonia makes you at risk of having pneumonia in future as well. I'm not saying you'll have it, but then you should sort of, having a vaccination is good. It will only protect you.
No, but how to ensure that it will not be harmful to me?
No, sir, the vaccination will not be harmful to you because you have had a pneumonia and then after that you take vaccination. It's not going to be harmful to you. In fact, it is more so important that you do take it, because the fact that you have had a history makes you susceptible. So you need to take it. It will not be harmful in any way, as far, because you said you don't have a lot of multimorbid conditions as well.
No.
Only thing is, if you have had any reactions to any vaccinations in the past, then yes. And every injection, when we are seeing for the first time we are giving, if there is a reaction, then we will not give it. As simple as that.
Because I've got only allergy to sulfur, nothing else.
That's okay. That is completely purely antibiotic. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody has any questions? Please unmute yourself and ask the doctor.
Hello, yes. Doctor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Now, if you are perfectly okay, do you have to take the vaccination? Is it compulsory? I mean, if you have no problem.
I would say it's not been made mandatory. If it was mandatory, by now you would have been given it. But it's always a health advisory. Like, for example, in India, if you're, I mean, abroad, of course, above 65. In India, we are trying to divide it less than 75 and more than 75. For that particular age, because if you're healthy and we know that your quality of life is going to be good, it will always be better to boost yourself by getting a vaccination, because that will be only protective. Fine, you might still tell me that if I get some side effects with the vaccination, then what? See, to be very frank, predicting side effect is very individual. A person might get a side effect to that injection or might not. But what I have seen in more and more cases, that it is definitely protective. There is no doubt about it. So even if you're a healthy adult above 75, to protect your future, it's always best, because as you grow older, the risk of pneumonia and the intensity will increase purely on age. If you don't have the comorbid illnesses, fine. But it is always better that you protect yourself rather. See, that's why I say prevention. Immunization comes as a part of prevention. It doesn't come as a part of cure. So we need to sort of prevent. That's why, I mean, to be very frank, that's why we all throughout during this time are waiting for a COVID vaccine. I mean, why are we waiting for that? Because we are waiting for that because we feel that once that vaccine comes, we will obviously get protection against that particular disease. I don't want to delve into that now because we are just too early in stages. I can't even comment where we are in that. But yeah, the known vaccinations like influenza, like pneumonia, these are all going to be protective on the long run and will keep you more, will help you in boosting your immunity, no doubt about it.
Now, doctor, now this COVID vaccination, in so many places, they are telling you can come and take it. It's organized by Ashish Shalar and all of them. So is it necessary for us to take it? Because many people say if you go and take it, it's worse. I don't know.
As far as I know, the COVID vaccine officially really hasn't been launched. And once it is launched, there will obviously be a mass drive, I'm sure, wherein we know that certain sections will be given. For example, older adults come in the susceptible. So until unless, to be very frank, nothing comes from our official government ministry, I don't think we should sort of delve into it now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, lot of people are having lot of vaccinations, but we need to know which is effective, and without having trials.
Yeah, because in many parishes now they are organizing all these COVID vaccinations.
No, so
but
are they? No, I think they must be organizing vaccination drives for influenza and pneumococcal. I'm not, because I don't think the COVID vaccine is available. I don't think it is available.
But doctor,
Hanati, you had a question, Hanati?
yes, doctor, but taking this vaccination for influenza and pneumonia and all, we just have to go to the hospital and say that we want vaccination, or we have to consult the doctor?
No, definitely you have to consult the doctor, and then they will see your profile. Because what happens is, yes, I want to get vaccinated. That's fine. That is your wish. That's okay. But then they will see whether you should get it, you should not get it, whether you have had, what all medications you're on, what all your diseases are. Because just getting the shot is not the thing. Your profile, what your diseases are, that also is important, because or else everybody will get it just like that. And it is not an over-the-counter. Thankfully, it is not an over-the-counter drug. So basically, it is through prescription. So you have to show to a doctor. I mean, even in a hospital, when you go, a doctor only will prescribe to you. Nobody else can. Even a pharmacist cannot prescribe to you. So a doctor will see your profile, prescribe to you, and then only you can even get the vaccine.
Yeah, no, because after my stroke, the neurologist have told me that during that time, whatever that for brain to relax the brain, one tablet I had to take. Then, of course, he said whether your diabetes goes up or down, it's just actually at the borderline, always been. But he said whether it is borderline or not, but you have to take this thing in the morning in empty stomach. And
but then that tablet must be different, because vaccinations are always injectable.
So with that, we can take the vaccination.
That's what I'm saying. Again, ma'am, to be very frank, if you're asking me precisely about you, then it will be difficult for me to tell you without knowing all your history.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Any other questions? Doctor, a couple of questions from me, if that's okay. Number one is that can your local GP give you this vaccine, or do you have to go to a hospital? And number two, for the three vaccines that you talked about, roster, pneumonia, and influenza, approximately how much would this cost? A ballpark. Is it in the hundreds or is it in the thousands?
Yeah, so for example, if it is government, then of course it will be much cheaper. But yeah, it costs in thousands. And specifically, if you have to ask me that what is the cost today, I would not be able to tell you. But yeah, it costs in thousands. Another thing is, just give me 2 minutes. I'll just have to put my laptop on charging because I think it'll just go off. Just 1 minute. Yeah.
Until the doctor is getting ready, does anybody have any other questions? We'll keep him ready for that. Also, I think we have time for one more question.
Hello, Saleh. This is Paskin here.
Yes, Pascal.
Yeah. I have a question for Dr. Prem. When he comes
Why
back,
don't you
can
just
I
ask it and type it out to him?
Okay, fine.
Just ask, I'll just type it out to him so we won't waste time.
Yeah.
Pascal, I think he's listening to the conversation. Just ask the question.
Yeah. Hello.
Just ask
Hello,
the
doctor.
question. He's listening to you.
Yeah. Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, he's listening. Okay. Doctor, you see, is it a must that we seniors need to take a vaccination? I believe in the natural immunity, however old, because our older seniors in years ago, our ancestors were not living on vaccination. And they lived for long years, 90, 100 years. Only today this vaccination fad has come about because now my husband, though he's taking vaccination, still he's prone to problems of cold and all that sort of thing. Whereas I, for the last 10 years, have been trying to work on my immunity, and I think so I am doing without a vaccination. So, you know, what is this IgG and IgM and all these antibodies? Now we need to take nutrients and other things to build up a body, a lifestyle that will help us. I know this is not in line with allopathy thinking. So I'm a little off that.
No. So I would say, to be very frank, I'm not here to judge whether allopathy is better or other issues are. What I would say is you have to build your immunity one.
Yeah.
Because in the past, the amount of diseases were also not that much. Now the amount of diseases, the more infections that are happening, more people get hospitalized. We have more bad bugs. I mean, so once you get hospitalized, the number of bugs that you get is much more as compared to earlier. Even the community, we have got more dangerous, you can say bacteria and viruses. So what we are trying to say is, see, nothing can be foolproof. Ultimately, you have to take the vaccination because it's actually good for you in building up your immunity. It is not that if you have a vaccine, that's why I told you during the talk, it's not that if you have a vaccination, you'll definitely not get an infection. If that is the case, then that would be known as being, immortal, which is not something ever going to happen. And as far as immunity is concerned, I believe vaccination is one of the ways to add to it. It is not the only way to add to it. You have to have as I told in the session which I took for building immunity, you have to have good sleep, you have to have good diet, you have to have a good lifestyle. You might have to take some supplements which are not necessarily, to be very frank, it's not about allopathic, homeopathic or Ayurvedic. It's about taking the right combination which is for you. And make sure that it works for you, because ultimately if you have side effects to multiple drugs, then you are the only one who suffers. So that is what I am trying to highlight here. And as far as the antibody details are concerned, I think this is not the right platform. It becomes too complicated, IgM, IgG and all. We don't need to discuss all that. But I would say immunization is a way you can always maybe make sure that the immunity gets better. So that is something you need to keep into mind.
Thank you so much, doctor. Thank you.
Doctor, there's another question on the chat, if you can have a look at it.
Yeah, as far as the malaria and dengue vaccine are concerned, yeah, it is, you can call it, it's in the works, it is also there. But then to be very frank, in India, every rainy season, there is just so much of malaria and dengue. And I don't think the government has really gone into a drive of vaccination yet, because I don't think the drive of killing mosquitoes is actually completely fulfilled. To be very frank, the real treatment as far as malaria and dengue is concerned is to kill the mosquito and to stop them from multiplying, because it's very easy to market a vaccine because that will only provide you protection. But here we have an opportunity to kill the thing itself which causes it. So that is something I think we try to focus on more. And as of now, let me be frank, there is no immunization schedule for older adults as such in India. We are working on it. We need to get a proper schedule. Then only we can say that whether these should be included or not. And then just to clarify, I am sure that most churches, communities, everybody must be conducting COVID testing, because there is no vaccination yet available. So let us not think in that way, because that is something absolutely not true. Then another thing is, one last question which I will take is, should vaccinations we should take during COVID considering the risks of traveling? What I would say is, it all depends on where you it all depends on where you have to go. For example, if it is something which is very near to you and you can go and get it done, then it's okay. If it is something highly essential to your disease profile, I would still say that now more and more older people have started coming to the hospital. Even I have started seeing more and more, because remember one thing, the hospitals are much better equipped than earlier. Everybody is taking all the precautions. You yourself, when you travel, you always will have to take the precautions. So don't shun away from going to the hospital just thinking about COVID. Think about your disease, and depending on that, if you're not taking precautions and then coming to the hospital, then it is as good as you being totally exposed. So that is not something you can do. But yes, if vaccinations can help you in this, and vaccinations help in building immunity as well. So there is another way, if you can acquire it and somebody can give it you at home. So that is another way of doing it. But of course, home, the only issue is having side effects. If you have some side effect to it, then how do you manage? That's why we always say that you come to a hospital setting, we will see if you have any issues or not, or your doctor setting, and then we can tell you to go home.
Thank you, Doctor. I think we'll keep this as the last question. This has been very helpful. Doctor, as a summary, if you could just again tell us the name of the 3 vaccines that you think are very important that we should talk to our GPs about immediately. As a summary.
Yeah, so one is of course the influenza vaccine, which is there in various names. I wouldn't want to tell companies here because that is prerogative, whichever is available. Then of course there is a pneumococcal vaccine which has got 2 types. One is the PPSV 23 and one is the PCV 13. So you can go to your, and third is Zoster. Zoster is available, but it's quite expensive now. So not everybody is sort of taking it or given in India as such. But these 2 are definitely there, very commonly given, very commonly prescribed. So if you want to take it, please get in touch. And of course, the cost-effective model is something which you will have to ask, because everybody, for example, with you being senior citizens, I'm sure that we will be able to give offs as well. So that is something which will be sort of considered. So that's about it, I think, in precise about vaccinations in older adults.
Thank you very much, Doctor. As a quick reminder, we will be uploading this this session also onto our websites in case anybody wants to revisit it. Please do. The doctor also has his own channel. You can look at that. If you just Google Dr. Prem Narasimhan in YouTube, you'll get out a lot of his videos. And finally, just to remind everybody, we are starting our sessions in Hindi also from 4:15 to 5:15 every day, alongside our English from 5 to 6. So please do log on. I can tell you there's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you everybody for listening. And thank you very, very much, Doctor, for taking this time out in your very busy schedule. We'll see you guys again next week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
doctor.
you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Saleh.